Breaking Bad didn't just break bad, it broke the rules. Scripts got shredded, scenes got reshot, and one scene? The actor had no idea the gun was loaded. These are 20 weird facts about Breaking Bad. And in the bonus fact, let's just say, even Bryan Cranston has a permanent reminder he can't erase. Buckle up. This ride gets toxic fast. Fact 1. Walter White was almost played by, on paper, Bryan Cranston didn't fit. The studio execs saw him as Malcolm's goofy dad. Slapstick, harmless, the kind of guy who'd burn toast and apologize to the toaster. But Vince Gilligan, Breaking Bad's creator, had seen something else. Years earlier, Cranston guest starred on The X-Files, playing a racist who somehow made you feel sorry for him. Gilligan remembered that performance. When the studio pushed for bigger names, Matthew Broderick, John Cusack, even Steve Zahn, Gilligan pushed back. He didn't want a star, he wanted a man who looked like failure. So Cranston shaved his head, grew out his rage, and became Heisenberg. And the world never looked at Hal the same way again. Fact 2. Jesse Pinkman was supposed to die in Season 1. The plan was simple. Introduce Jesse, kill him off, raise the stakes. But then Aaron Paul walked on set and broke the plan wide open. Gilligan loved what he saw. Jesse wasn't just comic relief, he was heartbreak wrapped in bad decisions. So the writers rewrote the season on the fly. The writers' strike of 2007 actually saved his life, forcing them to pause and rethink Jesse's arc. Instead of a one-season footnote, Jesse became the show's broken soul. One missed paycheck, and we never would have heard, "Yeah, science."
Yeah, Mr. White! Yeah, science!
Okay.
Fact 3. The blue meth? Cotton candy flavored. Iconic. Icy. Illegal looking. The blue meth wasn't meth at all. It was actually Blue Rock candy, made by a local Albuquerque candy shop. Every time you saw Walter White cooking the blue stuff, the crew was really prepping snacks. Aaron Paul reportedly ate so much of it during filming that he got sick of candy for life. And yes, props to the safety team. No actual meth ever made it on set. But the symbolism? Pure chemistry. Blue meth wasn't just a plot point, it was a brand. And thanks to Breaking Bad, Albuquerque candy sales spiked, probably for all the wrong reasons. Fact 4. The pizza throw was one take. That pizza on Walt's roof? Yeah, the one he hurls in a fit of dad rage. No CGI, no glue, no retakes. Bryan Cranston nailed it on the first try. The whole crew froze, jaws dropped. They expected hours of messy cleanup, take after take. Instead, Cranston casually tossed the prop pizza onto the garage roof. And it stuck perfectly flat. Director Adam Bernstein couldn't believe it. They printed the shot and moved on. Ironically, Cranston later admitted he wasn't aiming for the roof. He just got lucky. And thus, one of TV's weirdest visual gags was born. Fact 5. Albuquerque was a budget decision. Breaking Bad wasn't supposed to take place in New Mexico. The original scripts had it set in Riverside, California. But shooting there was too expensive. New Mexico offered a tax break so big the network couldn't ignore it. So they rewrote the script to fit Albuquerque's desert vibes. The result? The show's dry, sun-bleached look, its endless blue skies, and its iconic southwestern sprawl became characters in their own right. Today, Albuquerque embraces Breaking Bad with tours, murals, and candy shops selling blue meth, rock candy, all because the studio wanted to save a few bucks. Fact 6. Bryan Cranston got a Heisenberg tattoo in a very private place. When the series wrapped, Cranston wanted something permanent. So he inked the show's legacy right onto his body. But where? His finger? His arm? Nope. He got the Breaking Bad logo, Barbie-a, tattooed on the inside of his finger. Small, subtle, and for his eyes only. Except now, it's in every behind-the-scenes video. Bryan once joked, "When I die, they'll find it and go, what the hell was this guy into?" Respect. Fact 7. Giancarlo Esposito. Almost quit, you know the one. The half-face, walking away, most shocking death in TV history scene. Esposito, who played Gus Fring, wasn't thrilled about wearing pounds of prosthetics and acting through what he called facial jail. He didn't want Gus's final moment to be cartoonish, but the effects team convinced him. Play it cool, play it calm, then let the reveal blow everyone away. He trusted them, and the result? A calm, silent, unforgettable death march. Part science fiction, part Shakespearean tragedy. No wonder it's still memed to death. Fact 8. The magnet heist was based on a real concept. Remember the insane scheme to erase laptop evidence with a giant magnet? Yeah, science. Turns out the idea wasn't pure Hollywood nonsense. High-powered industrial magnets can actually wipe hard drives if you somehow truck one into a police evidence room. The writers read about industrial magnets used in scrapyards and wondered, what if criminals use one like a battering ram? And so, Walt and Jesse's ridiculous warehouse heist was born. Fact meets fiction meets one of the coolest sequences in TV history.
Yeah, that did it.
Fact 9. Bob Odenkirk improvised half of Saul Goodman's jokes. Bob Odenkirk wasn't just acting, he was riffing. Better call. Saul Starr famously improvised so much dialogue, the editors had to cut scenes for time. His ads? Half scripted. His courtroom jokes? Mostly Bob being Bob. Even the iconic, you don't need a criminal lawyer. You need a criminal lawyer. Line? Tweaked on set.
You don't want a criminal lawyer, right? You want a criminal lawyer. Know what I'm saying?
Odenkirk's improv background gave Saul his slick, barely holding it together charm. Without him, Saul Goodman might have been just another sleazy TV lawyer. Instead, he became, well, the kind of guy who gets his own spin-off. Fact 10. Cranston and Paul have matching keepsakes, and they're illegal. When filming Wrapped, both Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul stole something from the set. Not props, not wardrobe. They each kept a bag of the blue meth rock candy. Technically harmless, but in an airport security line, it might not look that way. Cranston later joked, "Try explaining that to TSA." To this day, both actors keep their blue bags as reminders of the madness they lived through. Let's hope no one ever mistakes them for real evidence. Pretty wild so far, right? If you're enjoying this chemistry experiment gone wrong, hit like or subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Because coming up, we've got exploding turtles, almost fatal stunts, and a scene so intense the director had to take a break and breathe into a paper bag. Trust me, it only gets crazier from here. Fact 11. The exploding tortoise traumatized the crew season 2, episode 7. You remember the scene. A drug runner's severed head on a desert tortoise, and then boom.
Hey, welcome to.
Turns out the explosion wasn't just a shock to viewers. It stunned the crew too. The special effects team rigged the fake tortoise with pyrotechnics and packed it for the big blast. But when it detonated, some of the debris flew way farther than expected, right toward crew tents. No one was hurt, but several team members ducked and ran like it was a real cartel hit. And the moral of the story? If you're working on Breaking Bad, never stand near the tortoise. Fact 12. Hank's big shootout was filmed in 120-degree heat. The epic shootout between Hank and the cousins? A career-defining moment for Dean Norris. But behind the scenes, it was pure misery. They shot it in the middle of the New Mexico desert, with temperatures soaring past 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Actors were frying in their tactical gear. Crew members fainted. Water bottles melted in minutes. And yet, the scene came together like clockwork. Sweaty, dusty, and iconic. Norris later joked, "I thought I was dying, but hey, at least I went out like a badass." Fact 13. Jane's death scene haunted Bryan Cranston. One of Breaking Bad's darkest moments, Jane overdosing while Walter watches. And it hit Bryan Cranston harder than anyone expected. During filming, Cranston thought about his own daughter and broke down between takes. He cried so hard the set went silent. Director Michael Slovis had to pause filming to let him recover. Cranston later called it one of the most emotionally painful scenes of his career, because for all of Heisenberg's cruelty, Walter White was still, somewhere deep down, a father. And that's what made it hurt. Fact 14. The methylamine barrel scene almost killed Aaron Paul. The scene where Jesse is locked inside a barrel of methylamine? Yeah, that wasn't CGI. Aaron Paul actually climbed into the barrel. and got trapped when the lid accidentally sealed. For a few tense moments, Paul was stuck inside, unable to open it from the inside. The crew scrambled to release him. Afterwards, Paul joked, "That's the closest I've come to death on this show. Other than reading the scripts? Method acting? More like accidental claustrophobia." Fact 15. Gustavo Frings' restaurant is still open Los Pollos. Hermanos, Gus Frings' drug front, became an iconic Breaking Bad location, but it's not a real chicken empire. The restaurant used for filming is actually a fast food joint called Twister's, located in Albuquerque. Today, fans still visit, pose with the sign, and order burritos instead of meth. And yes, there's a fake Los Pollos Hermanos logo on the wall inside. Because in Breaking Bad's world, the fried chicken is real. But the crime empire? That's all in the script. Probably. Fact 16. Bryan Cranston had a real criminal past. Before Breaking Bad, Cranston had one weird run-in with the law. In his 20s, he worked at a Florida steakhouse where the boss was so hated the staff jokingly plotted his murder. When the guy went missing, police questioned everyone, including Cranston. Turns out the boss had just skipped town, but for a brief moment, Bryan Cranston was a murder suspect. Talk about foreshadowing. Years later, he joked, "I guess I was practicing for Walter White before I even knew it." Fact 17. The famous I am the danger.
I am not in danger, Skyler. I am the danger.
Scene was rewritten the night before Walter White's chilling speech. I am the one who knocks.
A guy opens his door and gets shot and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
Almost didn't happen. The original script had Walt angrily storming out of the room. But the night before filming, Cranston and Gilligan talked. They knew Walt wouldn't yell. He'd whisper, cold, calculated, terrifying. So they rewrote the scene on the spot, and Cranston delivered one of TV's most iconic monologues in a single take. Sometimes the danger knocks last minute. Fact 18. The Breaking Bad finale had a secret code name. To keep the finale under wraps, the script was titled Felina. Fans later decoded the meaning, an anagram for finale, and a reference to the song El Paso by Marty Robbins, which plays in the final episode. The song tells the story of a man who dies for love. Sound familiar? Walter White's last chapter wasn't about money or pride anymore. It was about love for Jesse, his family, and maybe even redemption. Or maybe it was just a really good song to die to. Fact 19. Aaron Paul never won an Emmy for Season 5. Aaron Paul won multiple Emmys for his work as Jesse Pinkman, but shockingly, he didn't win for Season 5, the final, most emotional arc of Jesse's story. Fans still debate how that happened. Was it politics? Oversight? Emmy voters asleep at the wheel? Paul didn't complain. He said, "Awards are nice, but this role? It changed my life." Spoken like a man who survived meth labs, cartel shootouts, and Walter White's parenting. Respect. Fact 20. The entire show was almost called something else Breaking Bad. 2 words, pure impact. But in early drafts, Vince Gilligan had other titles in mind. Chemistry, The Crystal King, or the most off-brand of all, Gray Matter, referencing Walt's lost company. Thankfully, the team settled on Breaking Bad, a southern slang term meaning to go rogue or turn to crime, a perfect fit. Because this wasn't a show about chemistry, it was about choice. And Walt made his choice over and over again. Bonus fact, Bryan Cranston's beard hid a secret. In the final episodes, Walter White rocks a scruffy beard in hiding. But here's the weird part. Cranston actually grew that beard during filming of another movie. While working on Godzilla, he negotiated his facial hair into his contract, knowing he'd need it for Breaking Bad's final act. So in the middle of Monster Mayhem, Cranston was secretly prepping for Heisenberg's last stand. Because when you're playing the most dangerous man on TV, you plan ahead. Breaking Bad didn't just tell a story, it built a legacy. A chemistry teacher turned kingpin, a meth empire built on lies, loss, and blue rock candy. No filters, no apologies. Just raw, explosive storytelling that redefined what TV could be. So if these facts made you gasp, laugh, or rewatch the whole show, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and tell us in the comments. What's your favorite Breaking Bad moment? And remember, tread lightly.